money in their pocket to do the things they love, more faith in their public services, because once again Labour rebuilt them, an NHS facing the future, more security and dignity at work, town centres thriving, streets safe, borders controlled at last, clean energy harnessed for national renewal, new homes, new towns, new hospitals, roads and schools, a new future for our children. That is what people will get, and mark my words, we will deliver it.
Starmer got fact-checked. Reporter destroys Starmer live-on-air interview, a breakdown of failed political promises. In a recent live interview, Labour leader Kier Stamer found himself under intense scrutiny as a reporter grilled him on crucial issues surrounding taxes and historical injustices. The atmosphere was charged, reflecting the broader concerns of the electorate regarding trust in political leadership. This interview not only showcased Starmer's struggles to articulate a clear position but also highlighted the challenges he faces in reconciling his party's promises with the harsh realities of governance. The reporter wasted no time getting to the heart of the matter: are taxes going up? This direct inquiry was particularly poignant given Starmer's previous assurances that taxes for working people would not increase. The looming budget announcement only intensified the pressure on Starmer, who appeared hesitant to provide straightforward answers. Instead, he deflected, stating that the details would be outlined in the upcoming manifesto and budget, which only served to heighten the reporter's skepticism. Starmer's responses were marked by a vague definition of who constitutes a working person. When pressed for clarity, he admitted that his definition was broad, which raised alarms about who would ultimately bear the brunt of any tax increases. The reporter's insistence on a clear definition underscored a critical disconnect between political rhetoric and the everyday realities faced by voters. This ambiguity left many working individuals feeling uncertain and potentially betrayed by a leader who had promised not to raise their taxes. As the conversation evolved, the reporter reminded Starmer of his earlier commitments, emphasizing that many working people might feel deceived if tax increases were implemented. "You say trust in politics is broken," the reporter stated, pressing Starmer to account for his prior pledges. The tension was palpable as Starmer struggled to maintain a coherent narrative amidst the mounting pressure. His insistence on not raising income tax or national insurance for working people felt increasingly strained when juxtaposed with the possibility of other taxes being raised. The reporter's challenge was not merely about tax policy, but about the broader implications of Starmer's leadership. By evading direct answers, Starmer risked reinforcing perceptions of politicians as untrustworthy. The public is increasingly weary of leaders who fail to deliver on their promises, and this interview served as a critical moment for Starmer to demonstrate accountability. The interview took an even more charged turn when the topic of reparations for historical injustices, particularly slavery and colonialism, was introduced. The reporter highlighted the importance of acknowledging past wrongs while questioning whether Starmer would commit to reparatory justice. Starmer's response was cautious. He condemned the slave trade but quickly shifted the focus to current challenges, suggesting that the future should take precedence over the past. This stance drew criticism, as many viewed it as an evasion of responsibility. The reporter pointed out the contrast between Starmer's reluctance to engage with the reparations debate and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's more nuanced approach. The implication was clear: Starmer's failure to confront these difficult questions could be perceived as a lack of commitment to justice, both historical and contemporary. Throughout the interview, Starmer appeared increasingly uncomfortable, particularly when confronted with the contradictions inherent in his party's fiscal policies. The reporter pressed him on the £22 billion black hole in the budget, a term that has become almost meme-like in political discourse. Starmer's attempts to frame the economic challenges as inherited from the previous government felt inadequate, especially as the reporter pointed out that some of the fiscal issues were a direct result of his own party's decisions. This moment marked a turning point in the interview. The reporter was no longer merely asking questions, he was holding Starmer accountable for his political identity. The discussion about tax increases became emblematic of a larger crisis in British politics: the gap between promises made during campaigns and the difficult choices that come with governing. Starmer's hesitance to engage with these realities painted a picture of a leader struggling to navigate a complex political landscape. Following the interview, reactions from the public and political commentators were swift and critical. Many expressed frustration at Starmer's inability to provide clear answers, raising doubts about his leadership as the UK approaches significant budgetary decisions. Social media buzzed with critiques, with viewers highlighting the disconnect between Starmer's promises and the potential realities facing working-class individuals. This interview serves as a stark reminder of the intense scrutiny politicians face in the current media landscape. In an era where every statement is dissected, Starmer's performance has significant implications for his party's credibility. The challenge ahead for Starmer will be to rebuild trust among voters, ensuring that his policies align with the needs and expectations of the electorate. The live interview with Kier Stamer was more than a routine political exchange. It was a defining moment that highlighted the challenges facing contemporary political leaders. As the reporter pressed Starmer on critical issues of taxation and reparations, it became evident that he must not only articulate a clear vision for the future but also address the pressing economic challenges facing the nation. Starmer's struggles during this interview underscore the importance of transparency and accountability in politics. With the public's trust in political leaders eroding, it is crucial for Starmer to demonstrate that he can navigate the complexities of governance while remaining true to the promises made to his constituents. As the political landscape continues to evolve, the ability to communicate effectively and authentically will be vital for Starmer's success as a leader. Ultimately, this interview serves as a critical test of Starmer's leadership. The questions raised about his promises, the definitions of working people, and the handling of reparations will resonate in the months to come, especially as the Labour Party prepares for future elections. The pressure is on Starmer to ensure that his leadership reflects the values and needs of the citizens he aims to represent, and to rebuild the trust that has been so fundamentally challenged in recent years.